considerable amount of time. Asad Beg, Al Jazeera, Kyiv, Ukraine.
Mexico is now home to over 1 million U.S. citizens. The culture, warm weather and lower cost of living make it the #1 destination for Americans living abroad. But the presence of some of them in Mexico City is causing tensions with locals. Wilson Dizar has a story.
These protesters in Mexico City say cross-border migration is changing their country's capital for the worse. Over the last decade, an influx of mostly American so-called digital nomads have moved here to work remotely and also enjoy a cheaper cost of living. Protesters say the newcomers have driven up rents beyond the reach of locals.
If they're going to live in a country, they have to contribute to that country. The first and simplest issue is legal migration. They come here with visas or no visas, and still the change in purchasing power generates these problems of gentrification and displacement.
I'm here because gentrification is just one more step towards colonization, dispossession, and the exploitation of our resources. Right now it's about the people, but it won't be long before they run out of oil, water, or lithium in other countries and come and take them from us.
Many Americans in Mexico are able to still receive high salaries in dollars from U.S. companies by working on laptops from their apartments.
The government is directing its public policies towards people with higher purchasing power, often illegally displacing local populations who have lived in these neighborhoods for 40, 50, and we have even documented cases of up to 60 years. In 5 years, rents have increased by 47%. This is violent for the local population. We are debating whether to pay for electricity, water, or food. Of course, we choose to eat.
Some activists blame Mexico's government for encouraging them. However, there's no simple fix. Imposing tougher visa restrictions on Americans could worsen relations with the U.S. Mexican citizens in the U.S. also send billions of dollars in remittances back to their families in Mexico. In a world where travel and communication are faster and easier than ever, these two nations are finding it harder to have neighborly relations. Wilson Dizard, Al Jazeera.
U.S. President Donald Trump has signed his tax and spending bill into law a day after it narrowly passed in Congress. He's called it the one big, beautiful bill that makes tax cuts signed during his first administration permanent. It will reduce spending on welfare and public health while increasing the budget for the military and enforcement of border security. Trump claims it will end waste and fraud in the U.S. government. In recent years, the citizenship ceremony at the iconic Mount Vernon has become part of U.S. Independence Day traditions. It's the final resting place of George Washington, the first president of the United States. 100 people from different nations have this year pledged allegiance to the U.S. flag. Mike Hanna has a story from Virginia.
One of the country's most prominent naturalized citizens lays a wreath at George Washington's tomb. Arnold Schwarzenegger took the oath of allegiance 42 years ago.
I always considered President Washington as the first American action hero.
I hereby declare.
Gathered at a naturalization ceremony at Mount Vernon, there were 100 individuals drawn from 90.
President Washington as the first American action hero.
I hereby declare.
Gathered at a naturalization ceremony at Mount Vernon, there were 100 individuals drawn from 96 countries, ranging from Afghanistan to Zimbabwe.
Congratulations.
And the former governor of California stayed with his theme to welcome his fellow immigrants.
You don't need a cartridge belt across your chest or bazooka.
Scrolling for hours to find product inspiration? Why not do it in seconds with AI?
This is a tool called Oxio. It's the world's first AI sourcing engine and end-to-end